now. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our first virtual outdoor work forum. I'm James Evans, the Managing Director of Land HQ, and it's pretty exciting for us. We are here on our first effort at a virtual forum. So thank you for joining us. I can see some people already joining in, and we're obviously here because we're obviously going through some extremely difficult times with our customer base, and also the world we know it has changed. So I'd like to first start with I empathise with all of you, all of our customers, all of our staff and partners, that we're all in this together, and that it is a difficult time, but we've learned we have to adapt. So obviously the Land HQ Forum came about by the fact this time of year from now until June is one of our busiest in our event calendar. So we would normally be at the Camden Show, Diesel Dirt and Turf, and the Hawkesbury Show, all within the next 8 weeks. And what is critically important for us is that we want to keep delivering new content and making sure that we go one step further each day to delivering on our purpose of enriching your outdoor work experience. So I'd like to thank you for joining us. Please feel free to make some comments along the way. This is designed to be an interactive session, and critically important, this is our first one. So go easy. Understand that this is not the easiest environment to be working on, and but we're excited to be here. I've got Mike Roach, our marketing director, and he's going to help me with the run of the day. We've got Russell Dunlop, who's the general manager of Agri-Equip by Land HQ, and we're pretty excited to be coming to you here from our Barrel location, flagship for the Southern Highlands, to be presenting this outdoor work forum. So we appreciate you tuning in. I can see we're starting to get a few more tuning in, and as I said, I welcome comments or questions as we take you through the run of the day. So I guess a little bit about Land HQ before we get started. So Land HQ is a business that started in December 2018, and Land HQ is a partnership between myself, James Evans, and Aaron Hutchin. So Aaron Hutchin's business is Hutchin and Pearce, and Aaron's from a third generation John Deere business, and him and his wife Crystal own and operate that business with a great management team and over 250 staff across Western and Southwestern New South Wales, with 11 dealership locations. The opportunity presented itself in that December 2018 period to acquire a location in Sydney. So that was a huge opportunity for Aaron's business to expand, and for myself to acquire the Land HQ business, which was actually previously called Farm and Turf Equipment, and was a John Deere dealer servicing the market in Sydney for around 8 years prior to that. So that's where the journey of Land HQ started. We started with a new brand because we needed to look at what we deem the smaller tractor market, slightly different to Aaron's business, which is very large ag focused. We needed to go to our customers with a point of differentiation, and we decided that Land HQ wanted to be the headquarters for everything you required for your land. We've obviously got the great complement of John Deere equipment, and that runs right through the range, which we'll talk about later, up to over 200 horsepower tractors, but we'll talk about that later. So our journey started with one store, and then around about 3 months ago, we acquired the Dunlop family business, which was Agri-Equip. So the Agri-Equip name is synonymous to everyone down the coast and the Southern Highlands. It's been a fantastic business, you know, thousands of customers, thousands of machines out there, and they've had businesses in Barrel and Queanbeyan servicing the Southern Highlands through to Eden on the far south coast, and everywhere in between, Goulburn, etc. So they've done a great job over the last 40 years, delivering a fantastic quality range of products, not only John Deere, but a vast array of attachments, something like 70 franchises and different brands the Agri-Equip business deals with, because for them, it's always been about making sure that they have the solution relevant for the customer. So that's been a fantastic journey, and we are now continue to work with Russell, Raymond and Colin within the business to continue growing Land HQ. And they are fantastically on the new journey with us. So Land HQ is now as of December 19. 3 locations, and I'd like to share some exciting news that as of this week we have a 4th location in Nowra. So we've acquired the John Deere franchise from Noel Bennett at Nowra Full Drive, an outdoor centre, and we've relocated about 400 metres down the road. So for me, that really does add to the broad network of our Land HQ business. And once again, as I said in the intro, goes that little bit closer to making sure we're delivering on our purpose, which is enriching our customers' outdoor work experience. And we now do that through 4 locations servicing from Sydney down to the South Coast. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining us again today. It's going to be fun. Once again, it's a first for us, and we understand it's not an easy time for our customers, for some of our staff and some of our staff's partners or your partners. But at the end of the day, we have to adapt. And for us at Land HQ, it's a great time to be in this business, as we are actually at this point in struggling to keep up with the demand and adding more resources to our business, as we are seeing good growth, good number of units sold. We've broken the back of the drought, particularly in Sydney and the Southern Highlands, which was a terrible and hard period once again for many of our customers. But we've broken the back of that. We've dealt with bushfires. So now we're going to deal with the coronavirus. We're practicing safe hygiene. We've got contactless sale processes. You can FaceTime. You can LinkedIn your sales, Facebook Messenger, your sales representatives, of which we have 10 across our 4 dealership network now. So the most comprehensive sales team in the Southern Highlands and the South Coast. So it's exciting. We continue to connect to you through safe practice and making sure that we keep our people safe, you as customers safe, but we know that you want to be on machines. You want to be on your farm. A lot of you who are tuning in generate your income from the farm. So it's important that we acknowledge that and support you through that process. So look, I've spoken enough for now. I just want to give you a quick little highlight of where we head next. So the run of the day is going to be, you'll hear from me a majority of the day when I'm in the commentary tent. We're going to pass over to Russell, who'll be running the machine demonstrations, which is an exciting part of today. We'll run those for about 5 to 8 minutes. We've got some exciting run today. So we're going to run through a small range of Z-Track zero-turn mowers, which are a fantastic product from John Deere. That's our first demonstration. Then we're going to roll on to one of the best compact tractors of all time, which is the John Deere 2025R, a fantastic product, and we'll go through some demonstrations there. We also have a great partnership with the Armour Group. Once again, that's a connection to the Dunlop family. They've been importing farm implements for many years, and they've got a fantastic range of Vigolo mulches, and we're going to go through that range as well. Finally, we'll then go to some Hustler sprayers, and that's where we'll close out the day. Once again, feel free to ask any questions in the comments pane. We'll answer them as best we can, and I encourage you to participate, as I can see the audience is starting to grow. Great effort for our first one, and I look forward to cutting across to Russell now. You'll hear more from me, and I'll be the one giving away the Freeland HQ hats. We've obviously also got some John Deere hats as well, which is pretty exciting, and maybe some eco-friendly water bottles. So that's probably enough from me, and I'll look to cut over to Russell, who is going to take us through our first machine demonstration. Over to you, Russell.
Hey, thanks, James. Hello. Thanks, James. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining our first virtual field day. Hope it's a bit of fun. Probably a new experience for all of us. But yeah, we'll have a crack at it. I guess right now we've got in front of us our zero turn range. We had hoped to have 2 more machines here, but big shout out to Luke and Dave, our great sales guys who sold them yesterday. So we've got more stock coming next week. So at this point, we'll start with the 48 and 54 and 60-inch machines. So probably better for your large property owners. We do have a range that starts at 42-inch, but here we'll take it away. In the middle, we've got the third machine in our range, which is the Z525E. It's a machine, comes with a 48-inch deck. On the left-hand side here, we've got a Z540M. This comes fitted with a 54-inch deck. And on the right-hand side, we've got our Z730M, which is our entry-level commercial machine. What makes John Deere mowers unique, really, in some respects, is that every deck we make is pressed out of one piece of steel. There's a lot of talk and there's a lot of people in the industry that talk about fabricated decks. At John Deere, we only make one type of deck, and that's pressed out of one bit of steel. The simple fact is, if you can press a deck out of a piece of steel that's the same thickness that you fabricate a deck out of, the pressed deck is always stronger. You don't have any weld lines to break up on, and you don't have any corners. The other thing when you fabricate a deck is you're trying to make a deck out of the least amount of pieces of steel you can. You don't end up with a jigsaw puzzle. And you have to compromise on airflow. Airflow in a deck is critical. It's about, a mowing deck is all about cutting the grass, getting it up, shifting it across the top of the blades and out the exit chute. If you're not going to side throw, then you might be going to mulch, and the aim of a mulching deck is to continue to get the grass to turn over and over and over and cut up very fine and lay back down in the grass that you've already cut. So with a John Deere deck, when the engineers design a John Deere deck, it's all about airflow. The idea is the grass gets cut and shifts across and out the other side. These decks are all 4 inches, or in the case of the big deck, 5 inches deep from the blade cut position to the top of the deck. So there's plenty of room for the grass to move above the blade and out. On the front, there's a step up, which allows the grass to come over, under, and get vacuumed up and stand upright. When we press a deck, we can press it with airflow in mind. One interesting fact is we're told the press that they use to press these decks is the biggest of its kind in the US. We can actually press a deck, and I have got an example somewhere in the yard, but it's not right here in front of me, that's 72-inch cut out of 7-gauge steel in one piece. It's an absolute monster of a deck. So working with our decks, we've got nice deep decks. They're pressed out of one piece of steel. You can see the thickness on the edge of the deck. This is an 11-gauge deck, and it's a very, very thick and sturdy deck. It creates a very, very, very good cutting experience. What we find is that when it comes to cutting grass and shifting it out the side at speed, which is what we're all after, it's unsurpassed. These two 54 and 48-inch decks are our Axel deep decks. When we move over to the Z730, you might notice that the color changes. And this is our high capacity Pro deck. This is a 10-gauge deck, which is slightly thicker again. And pressed on our full commercial pattern. The full commercial machine is 7-gauge. This machine has solid bar reinforcing on the edge, and it's actually 5 inches deep from the bottom of the blade to anyone who's used one of these decks will tell you that when it comes to cutting grass and shifting it out the side, there is nothing that performs like this. When it's all said and done, when it comes to cutting grass, what you need to be able to do is to cut the grass and shift it quickly, because the faster you can shift it out the side, the faster you can go forward and the better cut you get. Moving back to our two yellow decks, both these, so we'll start with our 525E. This machine is powered by a two-cylinder 24 horsepower Briggs & Stratton engine. When we move into the 540M, we move into a Kawasaki engine in a twin cylinder. And when we move over to 730, it's also got a Kawasaki engine on. The basic operation of a zero-turn machine is always interesting, and I'm sure there's many out there that understand how a zero-turn works. I also get about 50% of the customers that come through have never driven a zero-turn. So just very quickly, so we understand what the principle is. We have an operating position and two levers. It works very similar to a skid steer loader or any skid steer machine, actually. To start the machine, and we won't do it because it'll be really loud, we turn the key on, we start the engine, we release the park brake, which is on the left-hand side here, and we move our levers together. Now, each of these levers drives one back wheel. The left-hand lever drives the left wheel and the right the right. The further you push it, the faster you go, and if you move it backwards, the wheel goes backwards. Understandably, if you push one lever forward and one lever backwards, you'll turn in a circle. It makes them very maneuverable and a fantastically fast machine, because with the type of drivetrain it is, we can actually get a lot faster ground speed. The only downside of a zero turn is that on side slopes that are steep or wet, they can slip and slide a little bit. If you're concerned about your side slopes, talk to us. We can have a look at your place. We can give you a recommendation. Zero turns will go up and down steep slopes very well, but side slopes, they have a little bit of a battle on. The other nice thing about a zero turn is generally when you get to the mowing deck, it's much easier than a conventional underbelly machine. Here on the right-hand side of the machine, we've got a deck raise and lower lever. We can lower this deck right down to the very ground in order to get to the top of it to clean our belt and spindle area. Cleverly, the pin that does the deck height adjust also has a spanner in it. We can use that to undo the foot plate.
Safety features,
And access the top of the mower deck. Spring-loaded covers allow us to get in and clean the debris out, so that we don't get any debris in there to damage our belts after we finished and as we go along. A build-up of debris can get caught in the belt and end up cutting it, damaging the belt. When it comes to operating a machine, the John Deere mower has a bunch of safety features built into it. One of those, of course, is a seat switch. We're all quite used to those. It's located up under the seat. It means that if you pull the backside off the seat, the machine will stop, so that you don't have a chance of cutting your fingers or toes off when you hop on and off the machine. Further to that, the machine won't drive. Sorry, you can't pull your levers in and drive if your park brake's still on. So in order to drive, you need to pull your park brake off, and then you can drive the machine. All these John Deere machines come with electric clutch engage for the belt to cut the grass, and that's a pull button and a push button. As you can see on all the machines, when it comes to operator comfort, all the machines are fitted with seats with armrests. One nice thing with a zero turn is if you lean your elbows on the armrests and relax your forearms, don't have them tense and tight, but relax them, the machine will drive much smoother and you'll have a lot less fatigue. Our seats are all on our big machines. On our smaller Z525E, this is a vacuum formed seat. When you get into the M series, the 540M, this is a properly upholstered seat, properly sprung, a bit like a lounge chair, actually, to be frank. Same with our Z730, has the same features. Why do we have multiple models in a range? Really what it comes down to is how big is your job. A 525E is a 48-inch cut. It's a good machine for a couple of acres. If you're moving into 3 or 4 acres, you might want to go for a Z540M. It gives you 54-inch cut, a little bit less time on the ground, and a little just a little bit more robust. The Kawasaki engine is a little bit better, bigger, and a slightly more commercial version of a petrol engine. If you're a serious small-time contractor, even a medium-sized contractor or a large property owner, the Z730 and its little brothers, the Z720, and its little brother, the Z720, which is the 54 and 48-inch version, is an amazing machine. This machine has a massive steel tube chassis. You can see the section size of it here. It has the high-capacity 5-inch deep 10-gauge deck, which is basically a copy of the commercial 7-gauge just not quite as thick. And it shares the enormous deck spindle, and the leaves are free. The enormous deck spindle that the commercial machine uses, the diameter of which is outlined here with a 6-bolt housing. This is a machine that really surpasses anything that you will ever need.
I've got some questions for you, all right?
Okay.
Yeah, so questions from the audience.
Yes.
What are the general safety features of the Z-Track?
So, safety features include, as we discussed, a seat switch. If I'm cutting grass and I've got my mower deck engaged and the blades are cutting, I don't want to be able to hop off the deck, hop off the machine, because obviously it's dangerous. If I hop off the deck and the blades are still going, I've got the capacity to put my toes under or my fingers under and end up in a bit of a poor state. The other features are to hop off the deck, to hop off the mower and leave the engine running. I have to put the park brake on and I have to move my levers out, which means the machine can't move. My mower deck must be off and my engine can continue to run. So if I need to shift a pet or a ball or some obstacle on the lawn, it's possible to leave the engine running, but the machine's locked down and it can't move.
All right, and one final question before we cross back is, what sort of accessories, genuine John Deere, can we get for these machines?
So one of the most common features that we fit on a zero-turn is a mulch kit. Fantastic option if you're looking to cut the grass and return the cut grass back into the lawn. These are a bolt-in kit that fit in underneath the deck. We don't have one fitted today, but what it'll do is it'll stop the grass moving outside the deck and blowing into a windrow, and it'll cut the grass up and return it down to the lawn. The other common feature is a catcher. So we often do catches and come for just a short walk, and we'll show the audience the machine catcher. Here we've got a large commercial zero-turn ready to go. This is the catching unit, sucks the grass out of the mower deck, blows it up the tube and collects it in the hopper at the back. There are two most common attachments or accessories. Moving back, sorry, we took a bit of a diversion there, guys, but moving back again. It's also possible to fit tow bars to these machines. And as you can see on our Z730, we've got a tow bar fitted and we can put a trailer on the back. There are three most common accessories. Thanks, James. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Russell. And thanks, Courtney, as well on the camera for the camera work. Great work. So that was the tour of Z-Tracks. And thanks for the questions too. We've had some great questions coming through from Chris about genuine accessories. Thanks, Andrew, for being online and asking about the safety features of the Z-Tracks. Had a comment from Mel as well. Thanks, Mel, for joining us online. If you're joining us now on the stream, you can like and comment, and we'll post your questions live to Russell and the team, so you can get the answers you need for our live machine demos. Coming up in just a second, we're moving on to the 2025R compact tractor. So we'll have a full machine demo of that, including the drive-on mower deck. So it's an unmissable segment. So catch that in a second. James, talking finance for Z-Track mowers, what kind of options are customers looking at?
Great question, Mike. Look, when you're looking down at the zero turns or ride-on mowers, absolutely 0% finance is where we are and will consistently be. So really easy application process, very quick and easy. You can do that online or at the dealership, and you can actually get pre-approved online before you come in. So if you've got a budget in mind, you can apply online through our Land HQ website. There's a link, or you can access us through the John Deere dealer page and find our dealership through that. You can also access us through Facebook, obviously. So that's a great thing. And look, John Deere as a finance partner, a fantastic partner. So some of the best quality finance globally. And even when you talk, medium to larger equipment, finance rates start at 0%. So a variety of different ways you can work through equipment finance, leasing options, and it's a pretty exciting time to work with the John Deere financial products, as they are a fantastic product to work with. So good question, Mike. And one thing before we cross over to the guys, I'd like to just ask you, how do our customers access us outside of coming to a dealership at this stage?
So we're on the stream at the moment, broadcasting live on Facebook.
I think we've lost our banner too, Mike. Hold on, you keep talking, I'll fix our banner.
All right, set pieces are falling apart. So live on YouTube at the moment, live on Facebook, across our Facebook pages. You can also catch us on Periscope, Twitter-owned video service. So if you're on Twitter or you're a regular Twitter user, you can track us down on Periscope. So we're streaming on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and Periscope at the moment. If you're on Instagram or LinkedIn, then that's where you can find us as well. Because we've got the coronavirus period at the moment, what we've strived to do is add WhatsApp contact details for each of our sales team and LinkedIn profiles where available. We're working through a couple of options so that you've got a suite of options to contact the sales team personally, parts and service as well, of course, if you need to get in touch with us via phone or any of the online channels. But definitely keep a lookout for our regular content. We've got regular articles going up on the Land HQ website a few times a week now, everything from owner tips to company announcements to this week's store opening was posted just yesterday. So if you want to be the first to know, then head to the website, sign up for the newsletter, and follow us on all of the social channels. What do we got next coming up?
Fantastic. Well, I think we're looking pretty good for our machine demonstration on a John Deere 2025R. I won't steal Russell's thunder, he's doing a great job, but I will highlight the fact that John Deere compact tractors come with a 6-year engine and powertrain warranty, which you won't find anywhere else in the market. So that's a great lead in, and over to you, Russell. Good place to start.
Hey guys, back again. What we're going to look at now is a 2025 John Deere compact tractor. John Deere compacts are split up into 4 different frame sizes. We have our 1 series, which is a 23 and 25 horse. We have our 2 series, which we're looking at today. And then we've got 3 and 4 series, which there are other examples in the background, but we haven't got time for everything. So 2025 is a 25 horse compact. It's the smallest in the 2 series machine. This is a 4-wheel drive machine, obviously. Fitted to this machine today, we've got a Challenge front end loader. Shout out to Challenge. Thanks, guys. You got fantastic product. It's a company, Australian company based in Orange. We use the Challenge loader because it's got self-leveling, which is a unique feature. And if you're looking at a compact tractor, you need to make sure you've got a self-leveling loader. One of the things that happens with a self-leveling loader, or the reason they call it self-leveling, is this bucket is currently level with the ground. As this bucket raises, the bottom of the bucket stays level with the ground. What that means is if this wasn't a self-leveling loader, as the bucket raised, the bucket would tip backwards, and there's the potential for the material in the bucket to fall back on the operator. Self-leveling is an invention of the last few years, and most loaders today have it. Some compacts can't offer it, but really you need to make sure you're looking at a self-leveling loader. The nice thing about this Challenge loader is it has got a 4-in-1 bucket. Very popular these days. Back in the old days when I was a boy, we didn't used to have them, but now we do. This bucket opens and closes and has the capacity and the ability to clamp on an object or an obstacle. The other feature of this machine is that it has a quick hitch bucket. Interestingly enough, and if you have a look over the back here, we've got a pin. We can remove this pin, and we can remove the pin on this side here, and the bucket will actually clip off, allowing us to clip other attachments onto the bucket. We use common attachments would be pallet forks for lifting pallets. We also do a lot of auger drives, which allows you to attach a post hole digger to the front of this machine. Gives you hydraulic down pressure and makes a wonderful machine for fencing or planting trees, interestingly enough. Moving along to the tractor, 2 Series tractor is it's a great frame. It's slightly bigger than your average 25 horsepower tractor, which means the difference in a compact tractor frame means the difference in its capacity to lift, shift and push. 25 horsepower, we have 25 horsepower in a 1 Series. We also have 25 horsepower in a 2 Series. Why would you buy a 2 Series? A 2 Series gives you the capacity to shove material around a lot better with a heavier frame, a longer stance and a wider stance. It'll lift, shift and push. Also connected to this 2 Series is our Auto Connect 54D drive over deck. There's multiple videos on YouTube, on the internet about these decks, and I'd encourage you to watch them. We'll do a quick demo of this today. There's probably more detailed explanations out there, but the fantastic thing about this deck is we can pretty much shift two latches on this machine, a latch on this side and an identical latch on the other side, backwards and drive over the deck. That means is if we need to get to the deck to service it, or we need to get to the deck, we need to remove the deck to enable us to have more ground clearance to do loader work, say in a dirt pile or with mulch. To take it on and off is literally a 2-minute job. Now that we've flipped this latch and James is with us here and he's flipped the latch on the far side, James is going to hop on the tractor for us, and he's going to
ask any sooner. Here we go.
And he's going to back off and show us how it works. So, as James starts up, starting. Make sure you face forward, right? Without really going to use this standard tractor, one of the things you'll notice here is that not only did we drive off the deck, but the PDO shaft somehow, the drive shaft for the deck somehow miraculously became detached. The shaft here has a pickup point, and under the mower on the lift mechanism is the other part of the attachment for the shaft. Those two parts clip together and there's no more scrambling underneath the tractor to try and detach the drive shaft. It's a very, very cool system. James will start it up and go forward again. Hook back on again, and we're good to go. With a 2025 John Deere tractor, apart from the really cool quick connect mower deck, which means you don't have to get under there, shove, push, pull, very simple. We can also remove the loader. Challenge makes this really convenient for us. It's a case of lowering some legs and pulling the pins out, and the loader literally drops off in place. If you've got enough time at the end, I might show you how that works. Other features of your 2025 tractor, this is a hydrostatic drive tractor, so we'll come around the other side here. We've got a very simple to operate forward and reverse pedal. Further you push it, the faster you go. We do have a 2-range transmission, so we have a high and a low on our left-hand side. That enables us to do high torque, low speed work, or high speed, low torque work, depending on what we're aiming for with the tractor. One of the very cool things about the John Deere 2025 and a number of the John Deere compacts is, regardless of whether you use John Deere's loader, which we can use, or the Challenge loader, which is an Aussie product which we love to support, The hydraulics to drive this loader were actually installed in the factory as part of the tractor's hydraulic system. As you can see here, the hoses come out of the loader and they head off down to the front to put hydraulic pressure there to ensure that the bucket goes up, down, digs, dumps, and opens. But from here back, all came out of the factory. So these couplers up here to the lever, which controls the loader, are all factory fit. This lever is very nicely integrated, as we can see, into the console. A number of compact tractors have a big, ugly valve that sits here, which means that it comes from the loader manufacturer and gets teed into the tractor. Ours is all nice and clean. You might have seen, many of you might have seen James, I guess, jump on the right-hand side of the tractor. In many tractors, that's a no-no because this is all filled up with hydraulics. On the 2 Series, it's nice and clear on both the left, the right, and the left side. Other features of our 2 Series, got a nice big padded seat, armrests, adjustable steering wheel, which makes it very, very nice to use. You can get yourself just beautifully comfortable. There's a feature here where we have a cruise control. So if we are doing mowing work and we've got long runs, we can literally push the pedal down, click the cruise control in, and just keep moving. Around the back of the 2 Series, there is a Cat 1 3-point hitch, standard fit. That's ready for any implement. Many of our customers would use things like box blades, grader scrapers, stick rakes. Some would, instead of putting a post hole digger on the front, would put it on the back, which is also quite okay. Many of those implements, and we can do, if we have time later, we can do a bit of a walk around the yard and show you some of those. There's a lot of them available. Standard 6-blind power takeoff shaft. On the, sorry, I'll show you that. There you go. On the side of the tractor, on this side here, we've got a lever which allows us to either run the rear power takeoff on its own, run the rear power takeoff and the mower deck simultaneously, or just run the mower deck on its own. You ask why we might want to run both simultaneously. There's actually catching attachments we can put on the back, which are driven by the power takeoff with a suction fan that can pick the grass up. Good for some. I don't know whether it's for everybody. 2025R comes fitted with lights. So you've got on-fender lights. We have a very conveniently located fuel filler up the back here, and a very conveniently located fuel gauge. And if you come around this side here, we can see we've got the fuel gauge. This is a little mechanical gauge, nothing electronic, just works off a float in the tank. It's horribly reliable, works fantastically. Fitted with this on this 2025R tractor is industrial tyres. Industrial tyres are one of our favourites. This is available with both industrial and the turf or lawnmower style tyre. Many of our compacts we sell with industrials because the big flat lug gives it very good flotation. But if you do get into a little bit of dirt, it has got the capacity to dig and push you forward. If this was purely a mowing tractor with no bucket on the front, we might run to turf tyres. This tractor is set up for someone who's got maybe a larger acreage property, 5 or 6 acres, up to maybe 10 acres that they wish to mow, but they've also got a bunch of garden work they want to do. One of the magic things about a little loader on a tractor like this is it's a mechanical back. It's also a hydraulic wheelbarrow. Further to that, we've got a roll frame fitted to it. We can see the roll frame comes up and out over the operator. So in the event that something terrible does happen, the operator is safe. The seatbelt, there is a seatbelt attached to the seat. Operating these tractors, you must hop on, attach your seatbelt. If you seatbelt it in and you hold on to the steering wheel and something dreadful does happen, the roll bar will definitely keep you safe. Other safety features on this machine are very similar to a lawnmower. If you hop off the machine while the park brake is off, the machine will cut out. If you try and drive the machine while the park brake is on, the machine will cut out. If you try and hop off the machine while the mower deck is running, the machine will cut out. These are things just to keep you safe and ensure that in any exigency, if you don't, or if you forget, then you don't end up with some sort of injury. Ergonomically, the 2025 has a step, small step, springs up out of the way. We can hop on. It's got a clear platform, so very little between your feet, and as we said, very little on the right-hand side, even if you do get on and off the left. All your controls are color-coded. Orange is drive, black is stop. Very easy to remember. Yellow is power takeoff engage, and that's why this here is yellow, because this is power takeoff to shift from the back drive to the mid drive for the mower deck. All our 2025s, all our small compacts actually, are fitted with Yanmar engines. John Deere and Yanmar have had a partnership that goes back 30 odd years. These little 3-cylinder engines are absolutely marvelous. In Europe, they've put a new safety regulation in, which means to open any hood on any machine, you need a tool. My favorite tool is a stick because it's always handy on the ground. Push the stick in the side, raises the hood. All compact tractors should have a radiator in front of the engine. Compact tractors with radiators behind the engine are asking for trouble. Problem is the heat gets stored in there. Grass gets sucked up from the deck straight into it, blocks it up. They just don't heat properly. In our John Deere compacts, we put our radiators in front of our engine, right up the front where there's fantastic airflow. Keeps the engine cool and allows us to clean the grass off very easily. In front of the radiator, we have a cleanable screen. Enables us to keep the grass, any grass clippings that do make it through this very fine mesh, off the radiator. Service points on the machine. There's a oil filter and dipstick on this side, and it's a little bit difficult to see with a loader, but it's just up in here. Here's your dipstick. Allows you to check your engine oil level. Fuel filter is on the side here. We can see it's very easy to access and very easy to see if you've got debris in your fuel. It's very important to keep clean fuel in a machine. These machines have two main oil compartments. You have the engine at the front and you have the transmission and hydraulics at the back. There's another dipstick up the back to check your hydraulic oil to ensure that it's at the right level. It has one minor hydraulic compartment, and that's your front axle, and that's checked by a small dipstick on the top of the axle just here. What we could do, and what I might do, is just have a look at how this front end loader drops off. What I might do is come around this side. Need to make a brief adjustment to this motor. All right, what I'm going to do now is start the machine. To start it and not sit on the seat, I must push the park brake on, which I've just done. Place the machine in neutral. Once the load is lifted, I can then lower the stands. Need to lift it a little bit more. Stands are quite simple, they're just a little pin to remove and replace. Let's do the other side. Okay, now what we're going to do is remove the attachment pins for the tractor. One on this side. And one on this side. Loader is now ready to come off. We can now unplug our hydraulics. Hot tip for anyone unplugging hydraulics, and this is any tractor, anywhere, anytime. Hydraulic couplers, when they get pressure behind them, are very difficult to pull apart and very difficult to put back together again. Tip for anyone who wants to disconnect hydraulics is turn your engine off so that there's no hydraulic pump operating. Move your lever in all directions to ensure that any pressure that's left in the lines is vented back to tank. And then you're able to pull the sleeves back and disconnect the hydraulic lines. I've color-coded caps so we can ensure that we plug it back together again in the right spot. Without those, we would be a little lost. So now, as we can see, the actual loader post has moved away from the loader. We can back off and we can go into a mowing job without the annoyance of having this large loader frame sticking out the front. One of the things you have to watch out with the loader frame when it's sticking out the front is it does swing quite wide. So you've got the potential, if you come up to a fence, to hit a fence or trees. Makes it a much nicer mowing machine. Just loader off, mower deck on. Likewise, it's a much nicer loader with the mower deck off and the loader on, which is why we make everything quick attach. It's very simple. Thanks, guys. That's a 2 series. One day in the future, I'm sure we'll take you through the 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s because there's many exciting features we can show you. Back to you, James and Mike. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Russell. Thanks for the demo of the 2025R loader. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream. You can watch us on Facebook Live, on YouTube, and on Periscope, which is a part of Twitter. So comment and like. The more you comment and like, the more you can give away all of this merch that we've got on our desk. James has got a sampling of it now, so we're going to show you some of the Land HQ merch that we've got. All you have to do is like and comment, and we'll send you a message in Facebook Messenger or across email to let you know that you've won a pack. So we've got 4 packs to give away today during the stream. All you need to do is like and comment, and we'll select a winner and let you know on the stream and on email as well.
Fantastic. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, there's, as Mike said, there's some great prize packs there, and like, comment, and we'll get those to you. Absolutely happy to post those to your home address. So great wrap up from Russell. Look, the 2025R is a fantastic tractor. Often people will be looking at the slightly smaller 1025R, which, you know, often they'll say same horsepower, but really you are, for not much more money, you are getting a significant upgrade with all those features and benefits. So I'd like to just do a quick wrap up on some other things we want to talk about today. We've got a fantastic review at Mike's 5R, so he's going to do a recent customer review, and then he'll throw back to me. Thanks, Mike.
All right. Thanks for sending through your customer reviews. We love hearing from customers. We do all sorts of stuff from a marketing team, but it just really lets us sales guys know, first and foremost, how much you appreciate the service, the installation procedure, and everything, all the effort that we put into delivering great machinery and equipment to our customers at Land HQ. So this review was a result of a delivery Kangaroo Valley for a 2025R. Thought it was worth sharing on the stream just quickly. The customer owns a landscape construction company, bought a 2025R this year with loader and backhoe. He says, I was looking for a smaller scale machine to get into tight areas that all my other skid steers and excavators couldn't get into. I was very doubtful at the beginning that this machine could perform to the needs that myself and my guys were looking for, but let me tell you, I was very wrong. The machine has already become an essential piece of equipment for the crew, which is great to hear. Even though it's very small compared to my other construction equipment, it can definitely hold its own. Plenty of power and super user friendly. I would highly recommend this machine to anyone. From a business standpoint, a happy crew is a productive crew. This machine alone has ramped up production by itself, well worth every dollar invested. So cheers to our customer down the road who sent the review in this week. Great timing because we were doing the stream featuring the 2025R. It leads us into a conversation about construction. I'll pass back to James to give you a wrap on what's happening over on that front.
Fantastic, thanks, Mike. And yeah, some exciting news which you may have already read out there. We are waiting for an official launch by John Deere, but I can confirm that Land HQ, as of May, will be starting to land the compact construction equipment through our Ford dealership network, which is fantastic. So we are talking some hex machines up to 3.6 tonne, and also some skid steer and compact track loaders up to 4.5 tonne. So all dealerships will have access and availability to that product. It was previously distributed by Hitachi, but John Deere have now taken that back through their dealership network, which is absolutely fantastic. So a great complementary product to our agricultural, turf, golf, residential ride on lawn equipment, and our full range of compact construction. So we are landing product from May, and it's very exciting. We were going to launch it at Diesel, Dirt and Turf. So once again, we empathise with that event and Marty and the crew that have had to delay that to October. But the great news is we've got containers of product on the water, and the most exciting part is I've seen my brother Matt's joined in on the stream, so I think Matt's still there. Matt, my brother, does a fair bit of construction work these days, so I'm pleased to announce that he's looking to be Land HQ's first customer. Isn't that right? So just a small deposit, Matt. I'll look after you on the finance. We can probably throw 0% at you, and absolutely, you definitely need a skid steer or compact track loader in your fleet to get your construction work done. So thanks for being our potential first customer. I do appreciate the support. So that's probably enough on construction at the moment. What I also would like to just remind everyone that our 4 locations, so we've got Penrith, which looks after Greater Sydney. So we are located in the western suburbs, but we look after the whole of Greater Sydney. We have an external sales team of 3 people across our channels to market. So we're constantly out seeing our customers, whether it's turf farms, production agriculture, veggie growers, golf, turf, construction. We have a large range of ability to access those customers, and that is something that we love doing. We love spending time on farm and golf courses. So that's our Sydney business. We've obviously got Barrel, Queanbeyan, and now our 4th location in Nowra. So really, from a coastal strip of New South Wales, you know, we really do punch above what we believe is our customers' expectation from a dealership location and a spread, where we've got a proud team here of touching on 50 people at Land HQ, and you know, that's across sales, service, parts, and administration. And we're heavily supported by the Hutchin and Pearce business. So I did notice our, there we go, a little bit of local traffic for Barrow. We'll just let that tune out. But yeah, I'd like to once again give a shout out to Aaron, Hutchin and Pearce, and the SRO team, and the rest of the wider audience. It's a great team. Andrew Watt, the sales manager of sales operations manager of Hutchin and Pearce, has tuned in, and Andrew does a great job in supporting our business. You know, we are supported by a lot of the functionality of a larger business with the nimble approach of our 4-store network. So it's a very complementary partnership, and something that you know, gives Aaron and myself and the rest of the team faith on continued expansion, and we're continuing to look at opportunities where we need to be over time to service you, our customers. Because once again, I'll go back to our purpose, and I'll say it again. Our purpose is to enrich your outdoor work experience. We're very passionate about that, and everything that we do here every day is about taking us one step further to that goal, and you as a customer one step further to that goal, because we want you to be sitting on your John Deere equipment, whether it's golf, turf, a compact tractor, a digger. We want you to be sitting there really appreciating that product, really appreciating the ability to utilize that product to its full potential, and making sure that it's enriching your daily life. So that's our purpose, and we'll continue to hone in on that and focus on our customer experience. So that's probably enough for me. We've got another exciting machine demonstration. I did talk about machine partners before. So as I said, we've got a number of supply partners across our range of product, and this exciting partnership with the Armour Group and the Vigolo mulching product is something that's working particularly well. We sell a lot of this product to lifestyle farmers, hobby farmers, and we're starting to make some good entry into the council market, and even the golf market are finding a use for this product. So this is a fantastic range of products. We can't show you the full range today. It is comprehensive. It is available on our website or the Armour Group website, and we've got the responsibility of selling it throughout our Land HQ network. And Russell can give you some great information on these mulching products, and I'll cross over to him now. Thank you.
Thanks, James. Hey, I'm going to switch it out now. We've looked at John Deere product so far, and like James said, now we're going to have a look at a couple of attachments. Attachments are a really big part of our business. You can't really do much with a tractor unless you've got something on the back of it, and that's what we do a lot of. It's one of the things we specialise in. Shout out to you, Waddy, if you're still there too. Next time, buddy, you're up here with me. So here we've got mulches. These mulches are Vigolo mulches. They're made in northern Italy, and just like to acknowledge that part of Italy is in a very, very difficult period of time right now. And shout out to Mr. Vigolo and the team there. But what I'll probably do is start with a theory behind a mulcher, because often I get asked why. What makes a mulcher, and why do I need a mulcher? A mulcher is a grass cutting attachment which will cut grass very finely and redistribute it onto the ground where it's cut. The traditional way of cutting grass is with a slasher, and we probably have examples of slashers around here. I didn't have one, but a slasher works with a horizontal beam. The horizontal beam goes round, the grass gets cut, it gets thrown up against one side of the slasher, and as the slasher moves along, it leaves a windrow of grass in your field. One of the disadvantages of a slasher is that underneath that windrow of grass, light and air doesn't get, and therefore the plants die, and you can end up with dead patches because the grass is sat on top of the ground. With a mulcher, how a mulcher cuts, and I've raised the rear door here to expose how this works. This shaft spins at 2,000 RPM this way. These blades run through the grass, and as you can see, that moves through the grass very fast, and it shreds the material, brings the material up over the top here, and lays it back down on the ground that it's just cut. What happens with a mulcher is it does several things, but one of the main things is it's increasing the organic matter in your soil. So we've had customers that have had poor soil or poor ground, and over many years of mulching their paddocks rather than slashing them, the grass has been cut up very fine, been laid back down, rotted, and increased the organic matter in the soil. Generally in the industry, there's two types of mulchers. There's a high body mulcher, which is this mulcher, and as you can see, the frame of the mulcher is somewhere above my knee, between my knee and my waist. And some of the high body mulchers in the big machines get quite tall, and we'll show you that in a minute. And then there's low body mulchers. This is a low body mulcher. As you can see, the mulcher barely comes up to my knee. What you find with low body mulchers, the main difference between high body mulchers and low body mulchers is high body mulchers were made for pasture mulching. Low body mulches were actually originally really designed to do a lot of mulching of sticks and twigs, especially prunings in vineyards and orchards and tree plantations. They're also heavily used by the municipal industry, the governments, the councils, because they're more closed in at the back and there's less debris. Depending on your size of tractor will depend on whether you can handle a high body mulcher. One of the clear takeaways from that machine is it weighs a lot. This machine is a lot lighter. If you have a 20 to 40 horsepower tractor, even a 50 horsepower tractor, you probably won't pick a high body mulcher up. If you have a tractor from 50 horsepower onwards, there's the opportunity to use a high body mulcher. One of the main differences between a high body mulcher and a low body mulcher is the amount of room around the rotor. What you see here is that the rotor, and it's quite difficult to see, I'm not sure how you're going to get on, but the rotor is very, very close to the body. There's not a lot of volume, okay? On a high body mulcher, it's very different. There's a lot of room in here around the rotor. What room around the rotor does is allows it to move a volume of grass. The more grass you've got, the more room you need. Very much like our zero-turn mower explanation earlier, the more grass you've got, the more room you need to actually process it properly and move it out without clogging the machine up. Low body mulchers also traditionally use a hammer blade. This is a hammer blade on a low body mulcher. As you can see, it uses a horizontal cutting edge, which hits the grass on the edge. A low body mulcher with hammer blades will actually give you a beautiful clean cut. So if you've got a small compact tractor and you think mowing grass and you've got a park-like area, a mulcher like this will actually give you almost a park finish on your lawn. It's also versatile enough to go from there into a bit of maybe light twigs or some longer grass, which allows it to, which makes it a little bit more versatile than a mid-mount mower deck that we saw on the 2025. But we could take the mid-mount mower deck off the 2025, put a mulcher on the back and achieve almost the same result, but also allow us to do some paddock work as well. On a high body mulcher, which is designed specifically to do pasture, we use a Y blade. Why we use a Y blade is because what happens when we go to cut pasture, we want to do two things. We not only want to cut it and mulch it, but we want to also be able to de-thatch, especially in kikuyu thatch on the coast. It's very important once a year to get into that kikuyu thatch and cut it right out to nothing to remove all that white root material, which has no value. There's no green, and it's actually not any good for cattle either, so or stock of any sort. We use these are heavily used on the coast in the dairying industry and in the beef cattle industry, because with kikuyu you need those fresh green shoots for the cattle to eat. As this rotor goes round, it actually cuts down into the grass. So what we find is we end up with an effect where all across the paddock after we finished, there's little ridges of grass because the Y blades have cut down. They've cut down into the thatch and they've left a little bit standing. They've cut down into the thatch and they've left a little bit standing all across the length of the mulcher. That allows the thatch to be cut out and then the green grass to come back. What you'll find is that if you look across the paddock, you'll see a very fine series of ridges, and 2 days later it's all gone because the whole lot's grown back up again. That's the theory of mulching. What makes the Vigolo mulcher unique is the next thing we need to talk about. In a low body mulcher, what makes the Vigolo machine unique is it has an opening back door. One thing that many low body mulchers don't have is an opening back door. Without an opening back door, if you've got grass that gets away on you and it gets too long, there's very little room around the rotor. The machine gets clogged, it battles, it smokes the belts, and you have to go very, very slow. With the Vigolo, Mr. Vigolo kindly designed it for us with an opening back door. This allows the material room to get free and allows the machine to keep going when you've got long, thick grass. So if you do have a small tractor, a 20, 30, 40 horsepower tractor, and you're thinking about a mulcher, it means that you don't have to have the grass the right length to cut it. You can cut anything you need to. If you get into sticks or twigs, and a mulcher like this will cut sticks and twigs up to the thickness of your finger, you can close the back door because you want to hold those in and keep chopping them up until they're cut up very finely. If you get into long grass, you can open the back door and let it go. Where Vigolo really shines is in their high body pasture mulches. One of the things we found with customers and high body mulches is that not only did they have grass to cut, but they also had scrub to cut. And a mulcher will do a great job of cutting scrub. So they might have on the coast lantana, they might have up on the highlands, they might have dogbush or thornbush or some other type of scrub regrowth up to sort of 30 and 40 millimeters that needs to be cut back down again, bracken fern, all those sort of things. So when we've when Mr. Vigolo designed the mulcher, high body mulcher for us, he made a very large cast lug. One of the things that makes a mulcher special, this mulcher special, is how it attaches the blade to the rotor. If you can't attach the blade to the rotor in a very heavy fashion, then this is the most common place where damage occurs. When you hit sticks and timber, these blades can fly back and damage the bolt that attaches them to the rotor and damage the lugs. This cast lug was specially made for Australian conditions. It's got 110 millimeters welded to the rotor, and the bolt that goes through it is a 1-inch bolt. Most other machines out there have a pressed metal lug made out of a piece of flat bar, or they have a lug with about 80 millimeters welded to the rotor. Every other mulcher in the industry uses a 16 mil bolt to run through the end. This is a 1-inch bolt with a 19 mil thread on it. What this enables us to do is get a mulcher for you that you can take out and cut your scrub. You can cut your rough paddocks. You can pretty much cut anything. I'd encourage you, if you're interested, to hop on YouTube and have a look at Vigolo and have a look at Vigolo Armour Group. And you'll see there's a number of videos there of people cutting gorse bush, scrub, dogbush, tussock, any of those types of weeds. And what you can do with a mulcher like this is you can actually cut those weeds right out, and underneath the weeds there's grass, and that grass will come back. The grass will outcompete the weeds, and consistent mulching of a paddock will get rid of any type of weed. What we might do, so this particular, and we'll just come over and look at the front around here. This particular mulcher is a 1.8 metre machine. It's attached to a 50 horse John Deere 4049M. It makes a fantastic combination, and it's really where you get your entry level high body mulcher, which has got enough versatility to cut a bit of rubbish, cut a bit of weed, cut a bit of scrub, and then improve your pastures over time. If you feel that you haven't got a 50 horse tractor, you've got something much larger, we do have larger machines, and I'll introduce you to this. This is one of the larger machines. This here is exactly the same thing in 2.8 metres. What happens with a machine like this is the roller becomes larger, the rotor becomes larger in underneath the machine, and we haven't got the back door up on this, so I can't show you, but the rotor inside that attaches the blades to it is the same diameter as the roller on the back, so you can see it's much more robust, much more heavy duty. This is attached to a 125 horsepower tractor. It will work fantastically on a 125 horsepower tractor, and amazing the way this will cut grass, scrub, tussock, woody, noxious, terrible weeds. What we're going to do for fun is we'll come back over and have a look at our 1.8 metre machine. And we'll stand the camera slightly off to the side. Oh, actually, we can't do that. I was going to, sorry folks, I was going to start the rotor, but I've just realised that the shaft is not attached, so we can't do that. We'll move right along to the way that the mulcher drives. How a mulcher drives and where the safety shear point, I guess, if you like, or the slip point on the mulcher is in the belt drive. What happens is the drive shaft moves in here into the gearbox. The drive moves out the side and into a set of belt pulleys here. Between the drive shaft and the rotor is a set of 4 matched belts. What this means is A, that we get a gear up and so that we can get the rotor going the right speed, but it also means B, that if the rotor gets caught or the rotor jams in any way, there's these belts that cushion the shocks of the rotor from the rotor back through to the drivetrain. That ensures that no matter what you hit up the back here, your tractor is protected from all those shocks. Likewise, on the low body mulcher, pretty much all high body mulchers come with rear doors. Generally, low body mulchers would have fixed backs, but we have them with an opening back door. In a high body mulcher, the opening back door is pretty much a standard fixture. This can be either run in this position, which allows the grass to come up and roost the tail out the back and land on the ground. If you had knee-high grass or grass that was of a substantial height and thickness, an open back door means that it can let that cut grass go and blow it through the mulcher and out onto the ground. What you end up with is a carpet of cut mulched grass, and that very, very quickly breaks up and breaks down and disperses itself amongst the cut grass. If you had smaller grass or shorter grass, or you want to do a job with some scrub, it's actually possible to shut this back door right down. And I'll show you quickly how that works. Remove the bolts, and the door closes right up and the bolts get reinserted. What this means is that should we, when you cut scrub or woody weed or tussock, if you leave the door open, it'll process it very quickly and it mightn't cut the timber or the scrub or the woody weed up into short enough or small enough pieces. By closing the back door, it ensures that the material is kept inside the rotor control, and it goes round and round and round and round and round multiple times to make sure that it gets cut completely and finely before it gets dropped back down on the ground. At the back of every good mulcher, in my opinion, is a roller. Like when we looked at the large machine, with the Vigolo product, the size of the roller is equal to the size of the rotor. So as the machines get wider and more heavy duty, the rotors get larger. This is a 173 mil rotor. When we get up into the big machines, we get up into 350 mil rotors with a couple of increments in between. The roller is really important. The machine, when it's sitting on the tractor, should sit on the roller on the back and be held on the linkage on the front. That ensures that no matter what the ground contours are like, the machine follows very closely the ground contours and doesn't dig into it. The other thing that will happen with the roller, these machines, they are relatively heavy. It's why you need a decent sized tractor to lift them. But the weight of the machine is continually on the back of the roller. In wet or damp conditions, it also helps to flatten your fields back out, your paddocks back out again. A couple of interesting facts about Vigolo. Mr. Vigolo is a very, very clever engineer, and shout out to him if he watches this one day. Mr. Vigolo makes all his own gearboxes, drivetrains, mulcher bodies, rotors, lugs, and rollers in his factory in Italy. Another small detail and a bit of interesting detail is when this rotor here spins at 2,000 revs a minute, it really needs to be balanced properly. If it's out of balance, a rotor will vibrate badly. One of the most common pieces of damage we see on a mulcher is a bent and distorted rotor. When this rotor is made in the factory, it's put on a balancing machine. All the blades are fitted to it. It's put on a balancing machine, and it's spun up to about 5,000 RPM, and it's balanced there. You can see these blocks here have been welded to the rotor. Those blocks are welded there by the computer in conjunction with the computer balancing machine to make sure that this rotor runs absolutely smooth. Rotor damage is very common, especially when machines hit immovable objects like stumps and rocks, which is one of the reasons that we worked with Mr. Vigolo to develop this this lug and blade attachment. One of the things that makes rotors come out of balance very, very easily is distorted lugs or distorted blades or distorted bolts. One of the reasons that we got 110 mil of the lug attached or welded to the rotor was to ensure that the no matter what hit the lug as it went round, it had the best chance of resisting being distorted in any way. It's the lug and the 1-inch bolt and the size of the rotor that means that when we do hit timber and when we do mulch timber or scrub or regrowth, this rotor is able to handle it without a hassle, because the lug and bolt and blade assembly is in some respects heavier than some light duty forestry mulches or agroforestry mulches. I think that probably brings me to the end of mulches. Thanks, James and Mike. You can take it from there.
Thanks, Russell. And thanks, Courtney, for helping out behind the scenes on camera as well. You guys have a well-earned break. Russell and Courtney were just giving us a 360 walk around of Vigolo mulches. Awesome to learn about powerful machines coming out of Italy and distributed here through Armour Group and Land HQ. That was really excellent. We've got some other things to get to before our final demo today. We're doing Hustler Katipo sprayers in a little bit, but first we've got an announcement and a couple of giveaways, and then we'll get back into it with Russell and Courtney. James.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, good to be back over in the commentary tent, and I'm excited to announce. What am I announcing, Mike? Apart from the giveaways, is there any other special news?
One-on-ones.
Okay. Yes. If there's any other one-on-one questions, send them through. But once again, the giveaways today, we've got everyone can have one of those. Absolutely, or a Land HQ stubby cooler while you're sitting on the front porch enjoying your cold beverage. We've also got some drink bottles to give away, which are fantastically. We encourage reuse of drink bottles. I've got one here, making sure that we're trying to reduce our plastic consumption, doing the right thing from a sustainability point of view. And yeah, happy to share those gift packs via anyone that's tuned in now. So good to chat again. A couple of things I wanted to add to this discussion before we go back to the spraying information. So critically important in these uncertain times, we appreciate that, you know, it's difficult, and we wanted to reassure you as Land HQ and John Deere that we are considered an essential service. So we'll continue servicing our customers through whole goods, equipment, parts and service. We can do this safely, you know, safe hygiene practices. We sanitize our service machines. We can offer a contactless sales process. You can do your finance online. So we'd love to see you in the dealership if you're practicing social distancing, but we also do encourage you to phone through your parts orders. You can also look at doing those online through JD Parts. If you've got an ABN, you can obviously register for JD Parts, which makes it a seamless parts ordering process. You can also develop your own shopping cart on the John Deere website for parts, and then we can fulfill it for you. And our service techs, we have a team of service techs that work within the workshop, but also work remotely. So they work in field and are fully kitted out to take our service offer to you. So it's important that, you know, we are open for business. Some of our production agricultural customers have never been busier. It's been a tough couple of years. We've broken the drought, we've beaten the bushfires, and now it's about keeping food on the table for Australians, while there seems to be some irregular consumption habits, and it's about making sure that we continue to support those customers so they can grow the food for the hungry population of Australia right now. So I wanted to get that important message across. The other thing I'd like to talk about is our one-on-one sales demonstration. So as I said, we empathise with the Hawkesbury show, the Camden show, and the Diesel Dirt and Turf. It hasn't been an easy time for those communities. We have exhibited there before, and they're just great people, bringing together audiences from across our area of responsibility where we sell equipment, and unfortunately they've had to cancel those events. So big reason behind doing a virtual event today, and we'll continue doing these virtual events because we want to support you, our customers. But a big shout out to those customers, and what we can offer you with machine demonstrations, we can still offer one-on-one. So once again, practicing safe hygiene, we can bring a machine to your farm, your golf course, your residential property. More than happy to put the effort in to bring equipment to you, showcase the benefits to assist you making any decisions. It's something that we've always done, but certainly in these times we want to focus on that. So that's something, Mike, how are we promoting that through our communication channels?
Yeah, if you go to the website landhq.com.au, you'll see an alert bar down the bottom in yellow. That'll direct you through to our COVID-19 page, and that's an evolving page. So each time we bring out another initiative like this, we'll put an announcement up there. So that's one central place that we can keep customers updated with all of the coronavirus information and how we're adapting to it. So that's where they can go, and that's also where they can go to book the one-on-one appointments with our sales team as well.
Thanks, Mike. That's great information. And look, and thanks to the current comment on screen. Look, we are doing our best to implement some really good quality practices in our business. We have contactless sale. There's a comment on screen there talking about plenty of COVID controls. We're doing our best, and also we do have a parts pickup service available, which is contactless. So we encourage you to utilise that, and I think my team hasn't been an easy thing to adjust to, but it is something that we do take seriously for the protection of our customers and employees. So another thing I'd like to talk about a little bit more is that we've obviously got a great partnership with John Deere, and now more than ever is a great time to purchase a new piece of equipment. Through some significant support from John Deere, we are really focused on continuing to push equipment out to the marketplace. We've got some additional incentives we can offer you, our customers. So I'd encourage you to talk to our sales team, whether it's at Bowral, Nowra, Sydney, based in Penrith, or Queanbeyan. We've got a fantastic sales team of 10 people across our AOR, and we are here to serve you, and we have got some fantastic opportunities to get you into the green and yellow product. It's also important to know we're running, most of the time we keep our inventory up to date, but we do have about 14 units at the moment that's starting to push into that sort of 9 to 10 months old, which we consider aged. We've got additional incentives on those. So, you know, we've got 3 1023 23 horsepower tractors. We've got a 4049R, which is a 50 horsepower fantastic tractor. We've got 3 fine cut golf and turf machines. So I encourage you to, once again, read our newsletter, which was distributed yesterday. If you haven't registered, go online and you can get a copy of that if you go to landhq.com.au, and you'll get a copy of our latest newsletter, and that will have some of our machinery specials, excuse me. So it's an exciting time. I know it's a difficult time for many of you, but there's not a better place to be than on your farm, in your backyard, mowing your lawn, you know, digging holes, whatever you need to do to maintain your property. Now's a great time to maintain that equipment or upgrade that equipment. There's never been a better time to do it. So that's probably enough for me at the moment. I think we got Russell and Courtney are ready to go on our final machine demonstration. And once again, we strive to have some great relationships with our supplier partners, and Russell's going to talk about our supplier partnership with Hustler, in particular this Katipo sprayer. Thanks, Russell.
Thanks, James. on to the last leg of our virtual field day now. As we've probably seen, as those that have been tuned in, we've seen zero turns, seen a 2025 tractor on the deck and the loader, and we've had a look at mulches. Now we're going to have a look at another essential attachment for the back of your tractor, and that's a sprayer. Sprayers are used for many different reasons, anything from selective herbicides to fungicides and pesticides, but mainly on a farm, most people are using it to get rid of noxious weeds in a selective way out of their pastures. Here we've got with us Hustler boom sprayers. Big shout out to the boys at Hustler, they're doing a fantastic job. They're an incredible bunch of engineers. And I'll step you through just what makes a Hustler boom sprayer a Hustler boom sprayer. With us, we've got the 680 model and the 1150. 680 is the smallest model in their range, and the 1150 is the largest model in the range. I'm told by the Hustler boys to hang on to your hat because there's probably more coming. Essential parts of a boom spray include a boom. Obviously, that's why they call it a boom sprayer. This allows the nozzles to spread over somewhere between 6 and, in big agriculture, many meters, but in we run from 6 to 18 meters. The next part of it is tank, and that holds your liquid, which you mix the chemical with in order for it to be sprayed out on the paddocks. Third part of it is the pump and controls. On a Hustler machine, the pump is located right in underneath the tank. One of the nice parts about the Hustler machine is they've moved the pump to the very back, as far back as they possibly can. This enables us to have a proper sized PDO shaft. Anyone who's ever used the boom sprayer will know the most frustrating part about a boom sprayer is the pump is located right at the front. The shaft between the distance between the pump and the linkage arms is very short. The shaft is therefore extremely short. Every time you put it down the ground, the shaft comes apart. One of the nice things about Hustler is they actually thought about it, and they put the pump right up the back. We can have a nice long PDO shaft, so no matter where we are, the shaft doesn't pop out. Up on the top here, we have the controls, and these are an essential part of a boom spray. We have a pressure controller. Anyone who's done a spray chemical course should know that the more pressure we push out, the more spray we push out the back, and the higher our litres a hectare. There's a handy nozzle guide that's actually built into the tank. It's actually, you can't pick it off. It's not a sticker. It's actually heat transferred onto the tank so it doesn't wear off. And depending on the colour nozzles you've got and the pressure you run and the speed you go will depend on how many litres a hectare you put out, which is a critical component. On most boom sprays, on the Hustler boom sprays, we have a minimum of 3 sections. So we can turn the left on, we can turn the center on, and we can turn the right part of the boom on. We have a handy spray gauge, and so you can see the green is where we want to spray at, somewhere between 3 and 4 bar for low drift nozzles is great. Between 5 and 10 bar, you're really pushing it and you'll probably end up with drift. One of the things with the boom sprayer, of course, is the higher the pressure, the smaller the droplet, and the more chance it has got of the wind carrying it somewhere that you don't want. What makes the Hustler boom spray unique is its frame, and it's probably easiest seen on this end. Whether you buy a 680 or buy 1150, you get basically the same frame, and maybe we'll come around this end. Yep, here we go. On this end of the sprayer, you can see that the very large frame actually sits in a U underneath the tank and goes up each side, and the tank slots in it. This means that the tank and the plastic in the tank is never under any pressure. Whether you put a 680 tank in it or you put an 1150 tank in it, all it means is that the tank is taller and the frame stays the same. It's very, very good for parts availability, and it makes a very robust sprayer. One of the, when Hustler first introduced this sprayer to the market, they actually showed us some videos in their introduction piece. They went out and bought a bunch of boom sprayers from all different manufacturers and took them back to their factory, hooked them up on a jig with a vibration table, and continued to vibrate them for weeks and weeks and weeks on end to simulate running across the paddock Then they found all the weak points and they set about fixing them. So that's how the frame goes together. Interestingly enough, on a Hustler spray, there's a couple of different accessories.
We're back at the commentary tent, guys. We'll just cut across to holding screen. I'm going in a bit of a holding pattern because of the high winds out at the demo stage at the moment. So we'll be back with you shortly. We'll just try and get the guys back doing the Hustler sprayer demo.
Location. The other feature that this particular 680 has is a freshwater tank. It bolts onto the other side of the chassis, in underneath the tank, fill point, and it allows you to draw fresh water from the freshwater tank and introduce it not only to the tank to flush it, but also to the boom and the controls. One of the biggest killers of boom sprayers is chemical left in the sprayer after you've used it. Unfortunately, that chemical can be very caustic, and it'll eat away at the seals, send them hard, and when you go to use it next time, you end up with leaks. Another tip for young players is if you go to an auction sale and you see a second-hand boom sprayer sitting there and they want a couple $1,000 for it, just remember you probably spend just as much again going through the machine and replacing the seals. Unfortunately, old boom sprayers, the seals, every connection, every hose connection, every valve connection has rubber seals in it. Once those seals go old and hard and the chemical attacks them, they end up springing a leak. One of the tips to when you own a boom sprayer is when you go to buy your chemical, ask your rural store for some tank flush. It's very cheap. It's in a little bottle. You can drain your tank, put fresh water in it, add some tank flush to it, mix it up, run it through your machine, and it neutralises the chemical. What we're going to show now is how the 6-metre boom folds out. It's a very simple, robust boom. Two sides of the boom move out to give you your 6 metres. It's a manual fold arrangement. There's two reasons. One is because you can't run 6 metres along the road or through your gates. Second reason for this spring fold mechanism is because if the sprayer is driving along the paddock and you happen to forget to notice a tree and the tree runs into the spray boom will break away, the sprayer will pass and the spray boom will return to position. Second very nice feature about this 680 6-metre boom, and the 8-metre boom is the same, is the nozzles are hidden in behind the boom. One of the biggest killers of boom nozzles is when they hit the ground. Obviously, this machine, as it goes along the paddock, is going to move, and a small movement of the tractor in the middle equals a large movement of the boom at this end. Boom spray nozzles are 110 degree fan. What that means is the geometry means that this nozzle should be 500 millimeters above the crop, because the nozzles are 500 millimeters apart to get full even coverage. If this boom does hit the ground for some reason and the nozzle isn't protected in behind a nozzle protector, first thing that hits the ground is the nozzle and it breaks it off. It's quite frustrating, really, especially on a Saturday afternoon after your dealership's closed. In this instance, all the nozzles are hidden in behind a boom. Other nice little features of the Hustler and this 680, your control panel, this is a manual control panel. When we get up to the 1150, we'll be able to show you electronic controls, which is great for a cabin tractor. But this one here, if you've got a cabin, you'll have to open your back window or just lean across from your open station and move the manual levers. One of the frustrating things with boom sprayers is that often the levers aren't within arm's reach. This particular one, we can move the controls through an arc to get them close enough or far enough away and do up a bolt to hold it nice and steady. further to this, we have an 1100 over here. The 1100 is exactly the same as the 680 in the frame. What the 1100 has is a larger tank, electronic controls, so we can use an electric switch box to turn the sections on. This particular one has a hydraulically folding 6-meter boom. Do we have time to show them how the 6-meter boom, the 15-meter boom folds out, Courtney? Let's have a look at this because I think this is fun. Maybe we'll situate the camera over here behind the machine so that you're safe and out of harm's way. And what we're going to do here is we're going to fold the boom out and show you how the geometry of the boom looks. It's quite clever.
So we don't have much time.
Okay, so there you can see how half the boom's folded out. We could fold the other half out, but I think it will keep the other machinery that's here. This 1150, whilst the 680 is a great machine if you've got a small tractor, a small acreage, something that's not too big, the 1150 is really a professional machine, maybe for a production farmer, someone with a much bigger need, and someone with a cabin tractor. The nice thing about this 1150 is we can fold the boom out, we can turn it on and off, we can adjust the pressure without leaving the cabin or the tractor seat. Reminder that if you are going to boom spray, you really need to wear PPE if you're in an open station tractor, because some of the chemical isn't probably the best for you. If you use a cabin tractor, there's carbon filters available for the air conditioning systems to make sure it filters the air properly as it comes back into the cabin. This 1150 sprayer, as you can see, has the same frame underneath it that the 680 does. It's also got the optional additional storage compartment that hasn't been fitted up to it yet. The last thing about boom sprayers is knowing where you've been. As we talked about foam markers, obviously they drop drops of foam along the field as you go, so you can see where you've last been. The other option with boom sprayers is GPS guidance. There's a number of GPS solutions available for you. Some of them are as simple as downloading an app or your iPhone, for those that use iPhones. The others can be more sophisticated with units that have receivers on the roof and screens in your tractor, right up to machines that can auto steer, and they know where you've been and they follow a path along the field and auto steer. That's about it for boom sprays. Thanks very much, guys, and I'm going to hand you back to James and Mike to wrap it up.
Thanks, Russell. Thanks, Courtney, for your help today. And demo area, Hustler Katipo sprayers, great to have a look at. The full range is sitting in our Barrel dealership as we speak, and we're still open for an hour or two, or just a little bit under that today. So you still have time to pop in and see the guys either today or this week in Barrel, Penrith, Queanbeyan, or at our new store in Nowra. But I've had a great morning, James. How's it been for you?
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks, Mike. Been really good. Look, this is our first effort at a virtual display. I'm just going to shift the camera a bit out of range there. We're trying to maintain our 1.5. We did have the tape measure out before. Yeah, look, it's been a great day. It's a great opportunity to come to you, wherever you are, living room, kitchen, at home, and it's been just a fantastic experience to be able to bring our first event. We will host further events. This has been a good practice and warm-up, but it is our intention to put this as a regular part of our calendar for the short to medium term. So, you know, it's something that we need to continue to promote, and we really do appreciate you tuning in today. So, as a quick recap, as I said before, Land HQ now represents 4 locations from Sydney down to the south coast, and we basically cover a fair bit of ground, and we are well connected with our partner business Hutchin and Pearce, who have 11 locations through New South Wales. So it's a fantastic network of stores with a bunch of people that work within those businesses that are absolutely committed to you, our customers. So thank you again. We can't make these opportunities viable without the support of our customers. So I would like to thank you all today, and thanks to you all for tuning in. So once again, we've got 4 locations: Sydney, Nowra, Bowral and Queanbeyan, and we run sales, service and parts out of all of those locations. So that's important to note. Finally, before I finish, I'd like to confirm that we are open for business. We are an essential service. We will continue to trade no matter what the difficult conditions are presented to us over the next coming weeks. We'll continue to get our product and services out to you, and I thank you for your support. And a closing statement, as I said at the start, we are all about trying to enrich your outdoor work experience. So I really hope that today's webcast has given you the confidence that we are doing that, and we look forward to delivering our service for the long haul. Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
See you next time.